Hello and welcome back to Crazy Nines. I'm XH298.
And I'm MARK5000.
Welcome back to our series where we teach you tips, tricks, and techniques. I got that right. About the 9x9 game. Today we're gonna bring you a game review, and this is actually a game that I and Mark have played in the past couple of days. Isn't that right?
Just yesterday we finished the game.
Yeah, and before this game actually happened, Mark had taken 2 title tournaments on OGS, so congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
And this is also, by the way, why you should follow our series, because, you know, we have valid 9x9 people. Anyways, yeah, I played them on the 9x9 ladder, so let's go ahead and see how this game went. And this game is actually related to what we've been talking about before, because I played Tengen.
This is a very normal opening. C5 is the most common response to the most common move. No surprises.
So now we talked about a few possible continuations after White's C5 move. For example, here, G5, D7, attaching at C4, etc. But in the game, what I played was B5. I decided to try something new.
Yeah, that was a really interesting move. It hasn't been played by any professional player, so my initial reaction was it's got to be bad. But in the game, it actually worked out pretty well for you, and it's hard to answer.
So White responded by extending at C4. Mark's also tried this before at D5, but he didn't really like it, so he displayed a normal move, extended at C4, then Black Hanes at C6. White obviously
threatening to connect.
Yep. White obviously wants to cut Black apart, so the Han is very necessary here. Now in the game, I actually just cut at D5. Here, Black has a few options. He can cut as in the real game, or he can actually also extend at C7. That will also be a pretty good variation to follow. If White connects here, Black can get a pretty solid corner. So in this way, Black gets 2 groups. And like we said before, if you let your opponent get 2 groups, it's going to be really difficult for you to get enough territory. But in the game, I cut, which got me some trouble. After this variation, well, obviously there's a lot White can do here. He can bend at B4. He can block B7. He can also actually just push at E6. There's gonna be some sort of trouble here for Black. I didn't really like this situation because you have 4 groups of Black and White intertwined together, and one of my groups is on the second line. So it's not the prime position for me. Yeah,
you can just descend to B4 or B7, and those would kind of me-eye. So Black can be under a lot of pressure, and it would be easy to settle one side by playing one.
Yeah, for example, if I play here, obviously you can get a lot of free moves here. So it's going to be a tough game for me.
Yeah.
Well, I can also maybe hang tough by playing the nose hit at C3.
Yeah, does everybody know this move? This is a nose hit, or nose Tsuji. It's a very common Tsuji to see when your opponent is left with 2 liberties on either side. That means it has to start running one way or the other, and then you can connect the way that they don't run.
However, if even if you just sacrifice here, this would be a pretty good game for White, because even though Black has captured those 2 White stones, keep in mind that he has a 5.5 Komi, so there's still a lot of pressure on him now that White is very strong in the top right. So
yeah, I have the points from. It looks like 18 points from D9 to J7. That's 18 solid points plus Komi. So Black has to work pretty hard to find the territory.
Yeah, in fact, if he just plays here, for example at F3, just plays the normal endgame, we did a little bit of analysis here. Black won't be able to keep up with the Komi pressure. So he has to play somewhere like here. Maybe let's go back. Move. Maybe Pete here first, but eventually he has to go one step further and play a G3, and that's going to be a really interesting game.
Yeah, it opens up some weaknesses because white obviously wants to come through.
Yeah, it could be interesting if, for example, if white attaches, then black can maybe Hane and try to live in the corner.
Right, try to destroy the territory.
But yeah, that's another game. In the game, white just connected.
Yeah, which I regret now. I think it's an okay move, but I would choose another choice if I were playing again.
It's pretty solid though. So black still has to come up with a way to live his bottom group. If he loses those 3 stones, there'll be a lot of territory. So I played a nose hit. Now this is only slightly different from the situation we talked about before, but obviously because there's no stone at e6, white can't just, you know, work his way around. He has to pull out the stone. But we talked about this move a little bit.
Yeah.
I think white can still go here.
I didn't have to pull the stone out. If I settled here, then I would have to capture the 3 stones and then make certain you don't get enough territory on the right side to compensate for that.
If I want to block here, right, then I mean it's gonna be really tough for black to get enough territory. And also
white
this
has to
doesn't
save
work
those stones.
because if black tries to enclose white, he has
white
to
can find more liberties here. Yeah.
Yeah. Or he has the sentient move at B1, so black will die and it'll be game over. But yeah, even if black resists at B3, white can still come out. So later on there will be the problem at A5, so white can throw in there and reduce a lot of black's liberties. So it's probably still going to be better than...
But you can say the exchange of 1 for 2 is already good for white.
Even points-wise.
Black play on the top side. I didn't think that you were going to play underneath if I did B4. So I wanted to contest the center. It was more my style for 9x9. I like center fighting. That's why I moved up in the game. But I wasn't paying attention that if I go to B4, then maybe it'd be a lot cleaner. Maybe it's an easier game.
The game, black just blocked. Getting a pretty nice shape here. Of course, white can still kind of carry around in the center fight. Black maybe will extend. But this is still a lot better for black now that he's pretty much settled in the corner. And white will be split into 2 groups. However, in the game, white bent at D3.
Yeah, I think that's probably better than moving into the center.
Yeah, because even now, white still has plenty of ways to move in the center. For example, he can jump at F4. So if black walks, white can easily extend. Notice that this push and cut doesn't work because the ladder works for white very easily. And if something like that happens, then it'll be an interesting fight, of course, but it's definitely playable for white.
Yeah, I think so.
White can also play a playback move, which is this nose hit at F5. So really asking black here, how does your own medicine taste?
I should have played this one just for irony's sake.
Yeah. So if black blocks here, right, he can also just sacrifice. That's fine too.
Right. I think that's probably what I would choose. It looks like in the previous variation we looked at, where white has 18 points in the corner, then the Comey pressure is real. So maybe we don't need to be so attached to those 4 stones.
Yeah. So if it goes like this, right, then it will be very hard for black to settle the Comey once again, because he has this emotional baggage of capturing the 4 stones. Now white can also choose to alternatively actually go for the sacrificial technique at G3, and black will probably split, and that will also be an interesting fight.
Right, and if white lives with both groups, then black dies and white wins.
Yeah, so black will have to capture those 4 stones somehow.
No choice.
But white can cut up this black stone at G5. So yeah, still pretty manageable for white. The top right is not as large as in the previous variation, but yeah, still a close game this is.
And this isn't white's only defense either. There's some other choices, and some of them seem playable for both.
So in the game though, white jumped here at F3, which black immediately realized that, oh, maybe he can kick here at F4, which is a shape point.
I didn't like very much.
Because if
for me, it's
black
a good
plays
move.
otherwise, then white gets the shape point very easily.
Right, that was my dream.
Yeah. Black kicked here.
Right, and at this point, white actually cannot save the 4 stones.
Yeah, because if white just, let's say white tries to save those 4 stones, then it'll actually be really difficult. Black and Hane here. Of course, there might be something in the corner, but, I don't think white can quite win the capture race.
Black has a lot of liberties in this pattern.
Yeah. For example, here, that's Osente. So yeah, not feeling that confident for white. So that means white cannot possibly save those 4 stones. He has to use the sacrificial technique once again. For example, he can Hane here, expect black to wedge. If he falls for that trap, like I would do, as we talked about in the review, white will get to...
Right, this is similar to another variation where we didn't have E3 and F3 on the board.
But yeah,
and that exchange is also good for white.
Yeah, this will also be great for white. The top right corner is now more than 18 points. In the game though, white extended at G3.
This was the real game.
Yeah, after this point, it's already impossible for white to save those stones.
Right, it was impossible at the last move too. But here, white just has to try to make the most of the space that's remaining on the board because black has a large corner.
Yeah, but obviously if we try to compare this situation with the one we just talked about, white will get obviously less points, or fewer points rather. So white has to recover. Black now...
And then make life on both sides. Pretty straightforward. Forcing move.
Forcing move here.
And then it's necessary to live.
Yeah.
Does everybody know the shape? When there's 7 spaces, there's 6 from G1 or to J2, and then we have an extra space at J3. 7 spaces usually means that you need a move.
Yeah, so for example, if white ignores, then black can go ahead and kill. So F1 and J4 are Miai.
Right. This is so painful.
Yeah. So white has to live, but black can then go ahead and just reduce some points. This is a good move. H8. White cannot block anymore, otherwise black would just cut.
Right, that's right out. And H7, you can't play that either.
Oh yeah. Black can
Yeah, this doesn't work because of shortage of liberties.
So white has to block there, which is Gote. But
it's similar to the actual game.
Yeah, in the game though, this is Sente for white. So I can block now.
That's why I chose it.
But after this there's not much left on the board.
Right, it's just doing cleanup.
Yeah, I just had to be careful here because like I thought about that, but then again, we would have white throwing in, and there could be some turnaround in terms of points. I avoided that though.
Which was good. I was hoping you'd fall for that. That's why I left that spot open. But it wasn't just a hopeful move either. I thought that if you played safely, then it would still be a good move.
Yeah, the game ended with black winning by 1.5 points, but it's a pretty close game. But to sum up,
and the Komi was 5.5.
Oh yeah.
You should note that if the Komi were 7, then it would be a draw.
So yeah, if the Komi was 7, then black and white will end up with an equal number of points. Yeah, of course the game result depends on the Komi, but I think overall black did pretty well, captured the 4 stones as planned. But after the review, you can also summarize that sometimes you need sacrificial techniques for your games. Don't hold on to your dear 4-stone or 5-stone groups too much. But if you actually take a look at the whole board and realize how many points you have, that might be more helpful than the visual effect of capturing 4 or 5 snows.
Right. I think this highlights the importance of counting, even on the 9x9 board, maybe especially on the 9x9 board, because you might not be inclined to make a 4-stone sacrifice, but White could actually lose the 4 stones and be perfectly fine. Come within a few points of winning, and even have a winning sequence that I missed with the bending at G4 instead of extending to G3.
But yeah, that was pretty much the game. And what are we doing next episode, Mark?
Next episode, we're going to talk about, well, we're going to take a break from the opening. We're going to talk about, let's say, Miai invasions.
Alright,
now Miai
invasions then. But until then, we hope you enjoyed this video, and see you guys in the next one.